jumped into book 2, twins, and I immediately got my feelings hurt. So she don't know what she did. She don't know what she did. I'm gonna be a problem for her, okay? Hey Tipsy Friends, welcome to our channel if you are new, and welcome back if you're returning. I'm Nikki, your favorite little sister, here with our channel's first ever wrap up. You're probably noticing my lesser half isn't here. Well, funny story. You remember all that talk she had in the last video about her immune system and how great it is? Well, apparently germs can't get her down, but a cat can. She's having a severe allergic reaction, so she will not be joining. I don't think she read that many books anyways, and I feel like she's just trying to use it as an excuse, but that's just me. I don't got any proof. That's just me. But me, I read 14 books this month, which I know probably sounds like a good number to some people. Excuse me. I'm pretty proud of myself. I haven't been feeling well this month, for those of you who do not know, and most of you probably do. But the beginning of the month was like really hard for me, and I did not really read. So I'm actually very proud of the 14 books I was able to finish. So let's start with the anatomy lesson. Oh, and all the books I read were ebooks. It was just easier since I was laying down most of the month. Anyways, this one is by Stacey Deanne Venus Ray. You guys, this was a historical romance. It was 29 pages, super short, not much plot. It was just spice. Honestly, the funny thing about this story is I don't know how I came across it. It said that I pre-ordered it, and it also, is a black woman, white man trope. But the thing is, I don't know when or how I pre-ordered it. I think I might have gotten it for Sarita because she loves historical romance. I don't know. But it was, Dr. Harrison shouldn't have been doing that to Jane, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. It's only 29 pages, so I can't say much. And there wasn't a lot of plot, but I did rate it a 3 for the overall story, and I gave it 3 lights. For those of you who don't know, Sarita and I call spice levels lights. It's a long story, so we don't have to explain how that all came to be. But for it to be a like erotic smut kind of short, for me it was just okay. But I read a lot of smut, so take that as you will. The second book I read by her was The House Call, and this was with different people. It was Audrey and Dr. Ashcott, and now he had some audacity is what I'm gonna say, okay? He was up to no good. He also upped the spice level. This one was also a 3, and I gave it a 4 in the lights, okay? Because he had tools, and now I have questions on, is that what they were really like back in the day? You know, toys for adult toys? Yeah, I don't know. This one was 32 pages. It was still the taboo. It just, this one gave a little bit more, okay? As I said, this was my second read by her. I would love to read a full-length story by her. Excuse me. It looks like to me from when I just perused her catalog that she does mostly, or if not mostly, all black woman, white man interracial romances. And a lot of them, at least the covers, looked historical. I didn't click on them to see what they were about, but there was like this Western looking one that I'm really interested in to try. So she was new to me. They were shorts, and I definitely will be giving her another try. So fun fact about me, I like reading, holiday romances in the month that the holiday is not in, if that makes sense. So in December, I didn't read any Christmas stories. But this month, I read all, 4 of the Jolly Polly Christmas. Something else about me, I love Polly and why choose romances. Something about the unconventional relationship and seeing how authors make it work truly intrigued me. I know it's not for me in my everyday life because I'm the jealous type, but I love to read about it. Now, The first one I read was A Jolly Polly Christmas in Colorado. Perfect way to kick off. So, sorry, I'm bouncing all around. These 4 stories, the only reason you know that they are connected is because they all start with A Jolly Polly Christmas, and then it's in a different state. They aren't connected like as a series. And all of them have the themes of a married couple bringing in another person. But A Jolly Polly Christmas in Colorado was my favorite, hands down, out of all of them. It was so funny. I mean, wonder about laughing out loud. It was hilarious. Ikaria, Apollo, and Elisa, they have my heart. They're my favorites. As a reader, for me, it's characters, plot, dialogue, or characters, dialogue, plot. It just depends on my mood, but characters will always come first. If I don't care about your characters one way or another, I don't care about the story. These ones right here, they had me locked down, okay? I wish they were longer stories, but they're all kind of like novella length. This one was 92 pages, and it was by B. Chanel. I will most definitely be reading more stories by her. The characters had me, but the dialogue was so funny and so creative and just like real. I felt like these were real conversations happening. I definitely seen this story playing out in real life. I rated it 4 sips and 5 lights. The lights were lighting, baby, okay? I truly enjoyed it. Next, we have A Jolly Polly Christmas in Philly. My family, my mom, my dad, and my older siblings are from Philadelphia. So I was already like, okay, Philly, what you checking for, right? I gave this one 4 stars and a 3 in lights. The lights weren't that spicy, but it had its moments. This one was Sienna, Gahari, and Casey. I feel like this one was also very realistic. It was also my second favorite out of all 4. I loved the way, Elise, I believe that's how you say that. I hope I'm not butchering it. If I do, I apologize. I also gave this one 4 sips and 3 in the lights. It just felt very realistic, and I liked how each author all came together with the same concept of a married couple and a third, and how each author kind of made it their own. This one I felt like was so different from all the other ones because this couple was not trying to have a third. They'd been there, done that, was over it. So it just was so fun and interesting to see them slowly but quickly falling for this girl, and how like when you're trying to do the right thing, when you're trying to get your life together, that's when the devil attacks. That's when he sends you a Sienna who's just about to blow your spot in the best way possible. But I really liked it. Next, we had A Jolly Polly Christmas in DC. This one hurt me, you guys, by Ty Lisi. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. I gave it 3 stars and 3 sips and 4 lights. I did not like the characters. And I was heartbroken. And maybe I put too much on the story because it was the purple cover, as you can see. But I did not like her. And as the story progressed, I started disliking her more and more. And not in a good way. Not in the way I dislike Esther Reese from Miss House's McLean series. It's not in the same way I hate her. I just really disliked her. And then Sterling and Belle, the married couple, they were just okay for me. Like, the story it wasn't there for me. I did give it 3 stars because I did like the plot. And, well, the plot was okay. I liked how she kind of rolled out the secrets and the twists. I saw most of them coming, but it was creative. I don't mind to try another story from her. It wasn't to the point of not, but I could not get past these characters, and I hated Spirit. Like, I would fight her. Plain and simple. On site. This one was 117 pages, and it missed the mark for me. Now, the thing is, the last one I read was A Jolly Polly Christmas in Chicago. I also gave this one 3 Sips and 4 in the Lights. The problem with this one by Latoya Nicole is after a Jolly Polly Christmas in DC, I think I kind of got into a rut with the Polly. Or maybe I just read too much of it in not one sitting, but at one time. Because normally it's really hard to find poly romances with Black women. And these were all Black romance, but it just... I was over it by that one. So I would like to come back to this one later and see if it really was just a 3 or if it's because I forced myself to read it to be able to say I read all of them. The Polly in DC was my least favorite. This came in number 3. It didn't hit the mark. But again, I don't know if it's because I forced myself to read it and I was already kind of in a reading slump with the Polly. That's possible. But this one was 121 pages. And again, I would read more stories by her to try it out. But I'm cool for now. But all of the Jolly Polly Christmases were all new to me authors. So I am happy about that. And I look forward to giving them another go. Next. This is when my mood took a turn for the dark. And I blame a Jolly Polly Christmas, okay? Because it was Christmas in all of them, obviously. So the first thing I read was Hawk, the Church Series, Book 1 by Tia Rain. Excuse me. Sorry, this was interracial. 5 sips. Easy, y'all. 5 sips. And I gave it 4 for life. Now, she's a new author to me. And this was 326 pages. Listen, okay? Think of John Wick, okay? It's not exactly like that, but you know how they have the high table in that series and how it's kind of like a hierarchy and there's different titles for different jobs and positions. That's what this world had. And it was like great world building for it to be the first book. Sometimes world building in first books can just feel like a drag. I was locked in from day dot, okay? I am obsessed. I loved it. The way it all played out, the pacing, everything, okay? Albany girl, Brooklyn. And this is not a Polly. I'm just naming my characters, okay? And Killian, Hawk. I thoroughly loved it. It had action. It had lights. And I mean, my mood, when I say took a dark turn, I wanted unalivers, okay? And they was unaliving, okay? He was that dude. Secret Agent Spy. I immediately jumped into book 2, Twins, and I immediately got my feelings hurt, so I had to pause that one. I didn't finish it. I will go back to it, but I went in there not expecting my feelings to be hurt, and they were hurt, so I need some time to heal and come back, okay? Just saying. Miss Tiana Rain, you were wrong. You were wrong. I didn't see any trigger warnings, but if unaliving and like torture and things like that bother you, proceed with caution with this one. Because it was there on page. It was a lot of it. It was so cool and everything I needed. I ate that story up. That's why I'm really sad that my feelings were hurt. And it's like, I should have known, okay? Because she just gave like she had to ump the NT. She just had to. So I should have known, but I didn't. And I was hurt. That's fine. Next, we have Capone. I read Capone season 1, book 1, 2, and 3. 5 sips, 5 in life, all around. This was my first read by Miss Jacko OJ. She don't know what she did. She don't know what she did. I'm gonna be a problem for her, okay? Only reason I'm not in her DMs right now is because I got ways to go before I'm jumping in her DMs and like demanding answers. This was so good. For this one, I did Whisper Sync, and it was 296 pages long, 7 hours and 54 minutes. Catherine Dawson and Winston James narrated it. Winston. Catherine Dawson. This is not my first time hearing her, but I did not thoroughly enjoy her in this story. I will say I appreciated that she committed. She changed her voice and all those things, but I feel like she was trying too hard to sound hard, like a hard New Yorker, to fit Erin's character, that it just came off like forced. I didn't mind her voice when she used different voices for the other female characters, but it was just something about this particular one that didn't resonate within me. But again, I appreciated that she tried when she was doing a man, a woman, or anything. Like, she committed. I just didn't care for the voice that she used. Excuse me. Capone. Again, this is when my mood shifted to a darker realm. And he gave me all the feels, you guys. I loved it. Okay. I loved it. When I say I loved it, I read all 3 of these books in 2 days. It was more like a day and a half. I didn't sleep. It was a lot in the best possible way. Jacquel J, those to be continues are lethal. I'm so scared to continue because I know she's on season 3 of Capri. I don't know, excuse me, if season 3 is done, but like, I can't imagine being in the story and then hitting a to be continued and the book not being there. That's how intense and spot on they are. Like, the pacing is perfect. The way she hits you. I love that we got multiple point of views. I guess it is kind of multi-plot, but not to the extreme for people that struggle with that. I think she kept it on the rails very well, but you still kind of had things going around them. And I think that's what I loved about it. I love multi-point of views, multi-plot. I want to know everything. I want to know what sis is doing down the block, okay? And she gave me that. I loved it. I cannot wait to get to season 2, Capadonna. But I'm just like, when I say I did these 3 books in 2 days, I did. And the third one is not on audio yet. It's the same narrators, but I think it comes out like the 13th of February. So I had to read that sucker. Excuse me. So nothing got done. Nothing. And I had to put my big girl panties on, okay, and work. So I'm just like, I need to get everything done ahead of time so that me and my man Capadonna can just be together. I can be in his face and I don't have to get interrupted, because I was getting a lot of judgeful stares from Sarita because I was supposed to write some reviews and stuff and they ain't done yet. But I've been marinating, okay? Because I love Erin, but I want her man. I would sleep with him. I really would. Capone is a go-getter, and he's a twin. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I love twins. He is a go-getter. I loved how he showed up like, that's my wife. I don't care the circumstances. That's it. She's it for me. She don't know it yet, but she's it for me. Okay? And when a man is willing to unalive someone or unhand someone for you, it gives. And that's what I like. That's the energy I wanted. And I was just, it was so good. Erin, bless her heart. She fought the good fight. Okay? She was very, very likable. I loved both of them. I even liked to hate the bad guys. You know, she wrote dynamic characters. This series is so good. Just be prepared for it to take over your life, okay? Mind you, they are on KU. They are on Kindle Unlimited, but I own them. Because, baby, we go together real bad. So I own all 3. All 3 stories got 5 sips and 5 in likes. Like, it gave me everything I didn't even know I needed. And I kind of feel bad for everything I read after this, because I just still wanted to be with him. And I don't know if I fairly rated everything, if I'm being honest. So moving on, I did read Super Gremlin. This I read, excuse me, I started it before I started Capone, and then I finished it after Capone because I only had like 20 minutes left. It was also on audio, 3 hours and 38 minutes. I whisper synced it. It was 134 pages. It's from Mercy B, And this was my first time with this narrator, as far as I know. Serena's better with like narrator names, but I believe this was my first time with her. Yasmin Johnson. I gave it 3 sips and 3 lights. Now, I love Mercy B. So I don't know if it's because I read it right after Capone that I gave it 3 sips. Because it had everything that I wanted. Like, he was unaliving people. It was on page. He was ruthless. I don't know. I want to revisit this again later and see. But I do know that Yasmin was not my favorite narrator. Again, she committed, she tried, but I think because she narrated the whole story, it just wasn't hitting as hard as I wanted it to, if that makes sense. German is his name. His name is German, but they call him Grimm. Tatiana was okay. I could take her or leave her. I did like German, but it just... And again, I don't know if it was because of it followed Capone, but it just was okay for me. I recommend it. I do. But I would like to revisit this one. Next, I read Bad for Me, which was a MC. I love MC stories. This was interracial. I also whisper synced it from Sharona Williams. And I gave it 4 sips and 4 lights. Wesley narrated it. Woof. I didn't like Nova. Okay, I didn't. Baby girl, I'm sorry, but you volunteered for this. So you're making a lot of waves for something that you volunteered to do to save your brother. Okay? I'm not saying she's wrong for wanting out. I'm just saying I don't like the way she went about it. This one took me a minute to get into just because Nova was getting on my nerves. And again, I read it after Capone, trying to break it up. Because I know if I went into Capadonna, we wouldn't be here. I would still be reading. Okay? But the unalivers, it was there. He was unhanding people. Like, it was on page. I appreciated that. I like that you got a little bit of the MC life, but I would have liked more. But again, because of Nova, it just wasn't, their relationship wasn't built that way. So it was okay. I did like it. It was 452 pages long. 12 hours and 26 minutes. 4 stars. It was good. Next, I read King. This was a new author for me. And I think this was what I needed to kind of calm me down after Capone. I actually started reading Sir first. I'll have to put the name. I don't remember. And I'm so mad at myself that I didn't check first. But I'll put her name down below. She did a book review on Sir, on Instagram, which made me want to read it. But as I started reading Sir, I'm like, hearing about this brother, her brother and his fiance, I'm just like, they have a story. They have a story. So I checked, and they did have a story, which is King. And it was by Ayel Burke. I did the ebook. It was Friends to Lovers, y'all. You know, if you don't know, I love Friends to Lovers. And this was just a really sweet story. It was 216 pages. I gave it 4 sips and 3 in the lights. It is a BDSM story, and even though the lights, when they were there, were really hot, sometimes it would be like we would start something, and then it would be the next day. So even though there were lights on the page, sometimes it just kind of fade to black, and I could have used a little more. Tiaja and Cade were so cute. I can tell that, excuse me, Ayel will be someone when I just want a good, unproblematic story. Excuse me, even though it was unproblematic, it didn't lack depth. It didn't lack drama. It didn't lack nothing. Like, they had the character development. It had the angst, but it just wasn't exhausting. There was slight miscommunication, but it wasn't exhausting. It wasn't to the point of like, this is so just irritable or unrealistic. The problems that they had were just everyday problems. Not all of them. There was some book related problems, if you know what I mean. But it was perfect. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Cade is the man. Okay, I love how he took this Friends to Lovers and flipped it on his head, baby, okay? Because he was not hiding from his feelings. He was not running. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And because I enjoyed it so much, I went, excuse me, and read the next book, which I thought would be Sir, his sister's story. But when I checked the dates, it was not. It actually was I the Wed, who is Aaron and Jordan. This one was a magic convenience. I love that it was a new trope. I like the way she did it. It was 223 pages. I gave it a 4 in sips and a 4 in lights. This one, I felt like it faded to black less than it did in the first one. But just to be book 2, she is writing her butt off. This one was super sweet. I liked it's basic, you know, marriage of convenience. Here's my problem. How you gonna fix it? Here's my problem. How you gonna fix it? But it hit different. It was very sweet. And again, unproblematic, with still having drama and angst and all those things, but just an easy, unproblematic read. I can tell by now, two books in, that I can just read her in one sitting. She's not going to irritate me. The pacing is good. I don't need to hop around because there's enough going on that's keeping me there while also not being dragged out or pacing is too fast. It's perfect. I thoroughly enjoy her. So that was my last read, y'all. I think I did pretty good. And I did use my Notion to clock all these. Altogether, I read for 31 hours and 13 minutes, and I read 2,743 pages. I'm going to try and do better moving forward with vlogging my reads, trying to have better notes. This month I kind of just read, so I'm so sorry that it was probably all over the place. Excuse me. I want to do better about tracking it, and so that it's not so chaotic when I come to you guys to discuss it. So I'm going to work to also leave myself notes for the stories. But I was so happy. I thoroughly enjoyed my reads, and I'm thankful to Anielle Burke. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm able to her because she was the calm I needed to calm the storm of Capone. So that when I hit Capadonna in the middle of February is where I'm thinking I'm going to enter back in there, because I'm hoping that most of my work will be done. Excuse me. I really need to get rid of this cough, y'all. It's the only thing lingering. I feel fine, but this cough makes me sound like I'm not there. But it's a perfect thing. So because of her, I feel comfortable to start new books without looking for unalivers. But they're not ever that far from me, because I love me a toxic, crazy man. But that's what I read this month. Please, please, please tell me what you read. I need recommendations, because the next thing on my to-do list before I start Capadonna is to write out my 25 for 25. It's still not done yet. I know y'all are judging me. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. It'll be done in February. I'm gonna make a video once I figure it all out. But yeah, let me know what's on your guys' TBR. Let me know what you read this month. Keep your girl posted. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, ring a ding ding. Good night, guys. Bye.